Helios. Hi. You ready to go for a walk? Yeah. I love you.
It is important that safe coating from the conference ground is very important. Or want to break into your office. That's the old idea.
Hi, welcome back to my channel. My name is Mindy and I have lost over 125 pounds using GLP medications as a tool. To give you a little bit of a background on me, I have now been on these medications in one form or another for the last 3 years. If you missed last week's video, you can check it out here. I talked about the last 3 years on these medications and my experience thus far. But mostly I started these medications because at 365 pounds, I had tried everything I could, and these medications really seemed like a ray of hope. And I'm so grateful for them, but there are definitely some things that I wish someone who had been on these medications had shared with me so that I would have known how to better advocate for myself on these medications. And I definitely want to share that with you today. If that sounds interesting to you, please give this video a like, subscribe if you haven't already, and let's get into it. So I just want to give a real brief overview of what Wegovy is. Wegovy is a GLP-1 receptor agonist. Super short abbreviated answer is that it tricks your brain into thinking that it's full. So it helps reduce things like food noise, thinking about food constantly. It helps you feel full faster and for longer, and it helps to suppress your appetite. It does a lot more than that, but that's the basic gist. These medications can definitely come with side effects. The most common are GI side effects, so nausea, constipation. I have been one of those people that was lucky enough not to experience very many side effects, and there are plenty of videos out there, including this one, that will talk about the various side effects and how to counteract them. But there's plenty of information out there about the side effects of these medications. What I really wish someone had shared with me before starting these medications is that you don't have to follow the manufacturer's recommended titration schedule. I was a super responder, which means that I responded to these medications from the very first dose. So from 0.25 milligrams, I started losing weight, the food noise went away, I was feeling full very quickly for long periods of time, and the weight just started flying off. But the manufacturer and my doctor recommended that after 4 weeks, I titrate up from the 0.25 milligram to the 0.5 milligram. And then after that, I titrate up to the next and up to the next and up to the next. What I didn't know is that it would have really been best for me to stay at that 0.25 milligram dose for as long as it was working for me. Because I titrated up as quickly as I possibly could, when I got to the top at that 2.4 milligram, and it was working like a hot damn in the beginning, eventually, 3 years later, these meds really don't work the way that they used to for me, and they haven't been for quite some time. If I would have known that I could have stayed on those lower doses for longer periods of time, I would have been able to take advantage for a much longer period of time, the benefit that you get from bumping up to the next dosage or the next strength of the drugs. So if you are someone who's just starting these medications and you have started your first dose and you are experiencing lots of side effects, lots of GI side effects, and in addition, you're experiencing weight loss, I would encourage you to advocate for yourself with your doctor and let them know that you've heard that you can stay on the lower doses for longer than just the 4 weeks. It's something that they should at least be willing to discuss with you. Kind of leads me to my next piece of advice, which is that if you are currently seeing a doctor, if your primary care physician that you see for everything else is not someone who specializes in GLP medications, they're not familiar with the ins and outs of them, how they work, the best way to make them most effective, then it may be a good idea for you to look for a doctor that specializes in or is extremely familiar with GLP medications. I had to fire 3 doctors over the course of my first year in order for me to find my current doctor, who I absolutely love, who is very well versed with these medications and has been able to give me lots of really good advice as far as how to make the meds more effective and how to take advantage of them to their fullest extent. Unfortunately, I had already titrated up to the top doses before I met her, and she was the one that told me, you know, it probably would have been better if you had waited and taken your time titrating up on these doses, because once we get up to the top, we don't have anywhere to go. If you don't know someone who specializes in GLP medications, it may be a good idea to seek out the help of a company like Friday's Health. I do partner with Friday's Health, and I always have a link down in the description with a discount code that'll get you some money off your first month. But all of their doctors specialize in GLP-1 and weight loss medications. My first meeting with a Friday's Health doctor, I learned in a 10-minute session with him some things that even my doctor, who's very well versed in GLP-1s, was not able to tell me about boosting the effectiveness of these medications. I think so many of us are so used to just taking our doctor's word as law in regards to how to handle different aspects of our health. Our health and the different parts of our health are so multifaceted. There is no way that any doctor could be well versed in every single type of health. That's why there are specialists. And I think it was an invaluable lesson that I learned through this process, that it was totally okay for me to advocate for myself and to find a doctor that was willing to work with me and to teach me how to best take care of myself throughout this process. Earlier this year, I started focusing on my mental health and learning how to really get to the bottom of why I gained all of my weight in the first place and how I got to 365 pounds, because it wasn't just the food. There was a reason that I was turning to the food in the first place. Earlier this year, I saw a therapist through BetterHelp that was awesome at helping me work through some things. But most recently, about a month ago, I started seeing a registered dietitian. And I have learned more in the last month about my relationship with food and how completely screwed up it is than I have in the rest of my life. And I am so very hopeful about where I'm going to be able to go with this next part of my journey and all that I'm learning about myself and about food and about the way that our bodies were designed to regulate themselves, that we have forced ourselves out of learning through screwed up understanding, mostly founded in the diet and fitness industry, that I'm full of hope for the first time in a very, very long time, really since starting these medications 3 years ago and 6 months into my journey when they stopped working as well as they had in the beginning. If you are somebody who's thinking about starting these medications and all you've focused on is the diet, please take into consideration that it is going to be so important for you to learn to advocate for yourself. Don't rush through the titration, and definitely learn about the relationship that you have with food and what created the foundation for the habits that got you to your weight gain in the first place. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a like. Let me know down in the comments if you have some invaluable advice from your own journey or that was given to you by someone else. And I will see you in the next one. Bye, guys.
We're on a journey, looking back on the things that we've taken for granted, but feels like we're learning to be better without what's been holding